county budget is $90,515,000 at 20 mils for general fund. The $90,515,000 is about 6 or 7 million less than last year. That is discussed last week at length, and that is that the county's support to the conservation district is being eliminated, which is a reduction in expenditures of $100,000, since that was the amount that was budgeted for 2009. Debt service payments increasing by 9%. There was additional borrowing that took place in September for countywide coordinated reassessment and the development of a public service answering point for 911, an alternate. And again, that debt service is increased by 9%, but it was at the same time decreased for existing debt through refinancing. I think that the parentheses in the red tell the story there. General fund revenue is down by 0.5%, and I don't remember that happening in recent years. I'm not sure at all since I can remember. I
just want to make a comment on that if we don't go up this year, we're going to have to go double next year. I can tell you that right now. Because the state owes us $2.9 million, and we don't know if we're getting it. You saw what happened over in the planning department with the sewage program. They used to give us 85%, they're now going to give us 42.5%. If a bunch of these things happen, we're going to be in trouble about September of this year. So, I'm not saying we have to go up, but I'm just saying, after reading over this for a couple of days, I'm concerned that we're going to be in a bad position next year at the end of the year.
Any other comments? Okay, go ahead, keep going. Oh, do you have something you want to say?
I'm hoping and having faith that the economy is going to turn around and our position will improve till next year. Not that it's going to be rosy, but I'm looking for improvement. And then the revenues should come in and hopefully will come out better than expected.
What revenue is affected by the economy? Tell me that.
The planning department having additional building permits and inspections to bring into, well, there's $5 million that come in from our departments, and those were down this year. I'm hoping that those go back up. And the transfer of deeds and things like that. So I'm hoping the revenue will come in better than anticipated, because right now we're looking at a worst case scenario, and I think that if the sun shines on us, we're going to do a lot better.
Worst case scenario would be you don't get any of the $2.9 million. That would be the worst case scenario.
Well, that's true.
Okay, the problem is we don't know what the state's going to give us. That's what I think what Bill's expressing. Go ahead.
Okay.
Since we're talking about that, if you see court costs and fines, 2.3 million, that's what we get back. There was that Supreme Court decision that said the state is supposed to fund the courts from the 90s. They haven't done. They started to do it, then they stopped. I think our total court cost, if you look at it, I believe is around 6 million. Is it 7 million?
6.
That's a significant amount of money for a county this size to be putting in to the program. We're funding the other roughly $4 million of something that the state Supreme Court said is a constitutional responsibility of the state, and the state has not implemented. They started to implement it, then they stopped, and the State Association of County Commissioners is trying to get that rectified, but they are in court with it, but it's just a very slow process, and I guess just like before, they could have a judgment against them and still not pay for the system, but that would be a significant help if they would just take over the court system. In other states, they do, operate the court system. It's not run by counties like it is here.
And less cash on hand. Again, goes back to the state. They owe us $2.9 million right now. The fact that they have that money and we do not means we're not generating any interest off of the money, because it's not in our accounts.
Jamie, are we documenting the amount of interest we're losing? Because I think there was legislation to try and reimburse us for interest lost.
No, we're not, but if
We
they,
can.
we can.
Okay.
If, you know, now at about 2.9 million in revenue that they owed Lebanon County. I have a rough itemization of the amounts for some of the larger amounts for some of those that are owed, not all of them, but children and youth, Sally mentioned $1,723,000 at this point. Cap is about $160,000. District attorney's full-time salary by the end of 2009 will be $295,000 owed. There's a gaming grant that still has yet to be paid. The Renaissance Crossroads grant, we're still owed $528,000 toward that $704,000. And the West Nile Virus grant is still owed to us $55,000. That's not a total list, but it's
How much is the gaming grant?
$140,000. A gaming grant to the district attorney's office for gaming enforcement.
We hired a new detective for that, I think.
So those are items. Fund balance on paper going into 2011 is anticipated to be about $1,200,000.
The state has come through eventually.
I think Bill's
Up from
words
that.
were slow paid, not no pay.
Yeah.
I
Some
remember
might
him
be
saying
worried
that.
about pay.
Yeah.
Any questions?
In addition to the,
Wait,
assist-
wait,
oh, I'm
wait.
sorry.
He had his hand up and you didn't, so we're gonna let him speak. Then when you put your hand up, I'll let you speak.
Well, that's, this is gonna sit on the table for 20 days for public view.
Yes.
And
In addition to the reassessment project, are there any other special projects or additions in this budget, or personnel additions?
There were no new positions granted
No,
through this
we
We
budget.
turned them
actually
all
cut
down.
some, I think.
There were,
So you'll need a motion then to tentatively adopt the budget, place it on the table for display, and advertise it.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'm just not convinced that we shouldn't go up a mill.
I think I'm gonna take a chance.
Okay. And you second.
I'll second it. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay, 2-1.